Remote Edition. In the previous episode, we replaced many of the aging passenger locomotives with new models, as well as finally getting started on transporting supplies to the silverware factory near Grand Valley. And in this episode, we're going to continue on improving our operations as well as adding some new freight clients to our operation, and hopefully might be able to connect to the town of Granite next. But first things first, though, we need to get our new freight operation started. As I stated, oil sand to this, well, separation plant could be very profitable. So let's focus on that for now. Considering that the road that passes by this doesn't have tracks over it, we could basically start laying down track that way. And no, I do not want a catenary over my track, thank you. We'll go straight, and we'll curve a bit to the left so we'll have some room for the station building. And then do the same thing to the other track. And convert this from the vanilla crossing to the wigwags. And basically do a little bit of this over the track to make it look nice and neat. Now, let's see. We'll need there'll be 4 tracks because one of these freight trains will carry both sand and wastewater to this recycling plant located up there, which is one of the many key ingredients to producing recycled building materials. We'll build that there. No catenary for that station because I'm not operating electric trains in this region. We'll do this. Connect that. Wait. Okay, something odd happened. Construction not possible. There, much better. Just gotta do this. And do that. And then basically build a switch here so the oil train that's being later instated will basically pick up the oil and take it to wherever it needs to go. And then build this track so wastewater and sand can be picked up by a train and taken to the nearby recycling plant. We'll convert that into a slip switch, and we'll start by adding some new signals in the region. We'll do that, and that, as well as put these here for good measure for later on. But then we need to place down a couple of dwarf signals. And that will basically do it for now for serving the separation plant. We'll place down a station here, and we got some new locomotives. The new J1E Hudsons, as well as the Volvo LV66 series trucks, which could be very beneficial later on. We'll do it like this, and basically reconnect to the main line here. Though the signals here will be replaced by these variants instead, since this is going to be a junction. And also place down a dwarf signal. And hold on. Oh, this crossing has the old. Okay, this train has not picked up any silver bars yet, but it will eventually. Speaking of silverware, well, speaking of silver, I meant to say, we'll need to pick up we need to basically set up our deliveries for silverware into whiskey. It's the only town in the region that basically has a demand for it for now. And according to this, the only towns that need this, other than granite, are the towns of Richland and Riverside. Riverside needs building materials along with cigars, and Richland has almost everything, but it has both as alcoholic barrels being brought in, but it needs tools, and it needs cigarettes and building materials. The machine factory is still going on strong, and Woodsburg is getting a steady supply of machinery. Let me see, what other town needs machinery? Oh yeah, Black Diamond City needs some too. So I'll have to basically connect this to the main line. Now let's see. There's already a road crossing there. So I'll probably have to basically extend the station into town and place it right next to the freight yard. Well, next to the passenger station. But for now, we're just focusing on the new connections for those new industries. We'll focus on the other ones in just a bit. We'll connect that. So now, machinery and gold products will eventually arrive at the stores and in the factories. And with the connection already made to the oil sands mine, we'll put on the slip switch so the trains can easily navigate into the area. But now, we can finally get started on some new services. First of all, we're going to set up a new train to pick up the loads of oil sand from the mine that's located near Whiskey and bring it down to Kingsburg South, where the separation plant is located. This will be known as Freight Train E6. Oh wait, E7, because it's carrying a mineral. So, Freight Train E7, minerals, oil, sand. It'll have a full load, and it will basically deliver it to Kingsburg. And of course, I'm unloading it because the mineral sand could basically be picked up as well, and I don't want a train to have both sand loaded at the same time as oil sand later on. We'll also need to set up this as well. Pick up loads of water and deliver it down to Kingsburg South. This will be train A-1C, which is carrying water. We'll have a full load. Now, let's get some equipment. Since I'm already using the Timken 484 on handling loads like that for now, I don't have a need for a 484 on handling a heavy freight. So these Mikados will do. And to basically top it all off, I'll also use some of these new, well, actually, I might replace the aging H21 hoppers located on the coal trains with this variant. But instead, I'll just basically use the standard vanilla gondola car to carry the oil sands to the separation plant. We'll type in caboose. Buy it, and put it to work on that new service picking up the oil sand. At the same time, I'm also basically gonna try to acquire another train to pick up loads of minerals. Well, pick up liquids. Not train 1. Here we go. we'll copy this one, and I'll place it on liquids train A1C. Now, oil, sand, and water are now making their way to their respective destinations. Also, the Greenwood Central Station needs to be on track 4 instead. Right. With that done, I also want to basically get started on serving this Woodsburg paper mill. Now, according to the paper mill, the only 2 locations is the Shineston cigarette factory and the Woodsburg packaging carton factory, which is located up the line from here. So, I basically need to build a 3-track station, so the logs can be brought in from the nearby logging camp that we established in the previous episode, can be brought in, and then paper products can be taken out. Also, to make it a little more interesting, I'm going to be replacing the tracks with the logging trees with something a little more appropriate. Since logging railroads are normally known for basically operating with track that's a little bit out of date. Well, basically not known for high quality compared to some. I'm going to basically use these old standard tracks instead. They have a little bit of grass on them, as well as having some rusted looking rails. So, it'll basically fit the part pretty well. But of course, I'll be having an engine house to service the locomotives that serve in this area too. Well, actually, I'll just actually go with my original plan. The logging trains will basically have their own... It will be a separate operation, but it's basically owned and operated by the North Central. The log trains will be... The trains that are going to be used for this operation will travel from... Basically... Let's see. Hold on. There we go. Do that. And now we can get started on finishing up this logging line. Old speed track. Here we are. We'll do that, and then start to climb up the hill. Though I also want to basically smooth this area out a bit. At the same time, we'll basically curve off and start to climb higher and higher into the mountains. Make the track a little flat to give the engines a little more speed. Now the logging camp is located right there, so we'll have to basically build a curved track to reach that particular industry. We'll also go through this tunnel. And then basically start to climb a grade again. But we'll also start to make the track a little more steeper. And we'll also make this rather tight looking curve here. Okay, 35-mile-an-hour curve, that's good. Now, we'll need to set up a station to pick up the loads of logs. It's going to be a 1-track platform, but let's see. If I can get a good station stop here, I think? Sometimes it's kind of difficult to basically place down a station in a good spot. Flatten that road down, and then try to basically connect it up to the top. Perfect. Then we'll basically replace the track here with the old variant. And hopefully this industry will start producing a lot of logs. Because I think I might have to operate like 2 trains on this particular line. But that might change later on. We'll see. Alright. The track is finished up to that. We'll make a cutting. Or just leave it as a tunnel because the cutting did not look good. Let's see. Oh, there's a bit of a downhill grade too, so the trains will have to work a little hard to climb up. And that should be it for the locking line. I'm gonna go up a hill again, because eventually I might have, because there's gonna be a lot of traffic needed. Because I eventually want to deliver logs from here down to this paper mill to basically speed up time. Actually, no. There's only one destination going this way, and that is to the cigarette factory, so there's no need to basically double track it here. And I'll build a loop track to basically bypass the paper mill to drop off packaging cartons. Oh, and we got a new bus, the Renault TNC6Cs, which are pretty much more modern buses. And also, I need to build a junction here. Do that. Do that. And delete these tracks, since there's already now an available connection. We'll convert this into a slip switch as usual. And let's see, is that everything so far? Okay, let's see. Well, the train that was supposed to pick up the oil sands is making their way up to the separation plant. But I think it's time to get started on also supplying the log train up in this region, as well as supplying the passenger trains too. So since this is the first, this is going to be freight train F2, F1A, well F1B, and it's going to be carrying lumber products, and that will be logs. 10 minutes, and finally we'll purchase ourselves a little 262 prairie. This little prairie is actually pretty useful for logging operations because of its small size, and of course, according to the description, it was used by the Cummer Lumber Company as number 104. So, let's see. We'll need a couple of skeleton cars. We'll basically make a consist about 5 log skeletons and then a huge log between them. Hang on. Let's see. There we go. We'll add a caboose, a small one because it's a logging train, and we'll put it to work on the new logging service. And finally, we got one more to go. We got to basically also connect the commuter trains to Whiskey. This one being from Grand Valley, this will be local train number 15. Set color. Actually, hang on, let's see. I'll also basically do this to make it a lot easier in case one of the platforms is occupied. And I'll need another one to service the town of Longhorn to Whiskey. So, let's see, this will be local train number 16. Have a full load. 10 minutes. And also, basically just going to go on track 2. So I'll need a pair of the K1442 Atlantics, as well as, let's see, here we go, 442 Atlantics, K1 superheated, cargo, B60 baggage car, $87.4 million. But if it helps passenger traffic and helps boost my revenue, then I'm taking it. And also, we'll need one more train to pick up loads of oil from the separation plant. They're going to basically pass through these signals to go to the power plant, because both oil and coal are needed there. So this will be the first time using oil, so this will be freight train A2A, which will be liquids carrying refined oil. And now I just need a locomotive to haul that train. We'll get a Mikado. And a couple of these 8,000 gallon tanker cars. Let's see. We'll just take this 8,000 gallon variant. And basically 780 units of oil. That will basically be a very, very profitable freight train once it's full to the brim. I'll buy it and put it to work on that service. And I believe... Oh, right, I almost forgot. I gotta deliver some supplies into town. So, this warehouse hub is going to be what I'm going to use. Station service, city new, city new. It's going to basically be the 80 per platform variant. Of course, I'm going to get rid of that road to make it a lot easier. And then just to squeeze this in, as so. And we'll pick up loads of silverware from the factory and take them to the warehouse downtown. Have a full load for 10 minutes, paint green, and finally call this truck service E1, because I believe that's the newest service so far. Yeah, because the truck services are the ones bringing in supplies into a city. I'll need to purchase some trucks, of course. I'll place down a road depot. And purchase about, let's see. We'll use a couple of these Volvo LV66 double six. Yeah, double six LV double six trucks to pick up the loads of silverware and bring them into town. And before we'll also finish up, we'll also basically look at some of the buses that we can replace. Oh, this bus has the wrong colors. I'll fix that. There we go. But I think for now, we basically have done a good amount of work today for this episode. So, if you enjoyed this episode of my Let's Play Transport Fever 2, please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to Texas Gaming Industries for new video uploads every Friday or Saturday, depending on my on-site schedule. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye!